Studies show that money problems cause an increase in insomnia, an increase in depression, increase in anxiety, and is the number one cause of divorce. So it is the best way to manage money so you can stop worrying about it and fulfill your life's mission. Let's go. So in this part one of our two-part series, I'm going to walk you through 5 strategies to manage your money so you have more money left at the end of the month rather than more month left at the end of the money. Let's get it. Less than 1% of people that have money problems have financial goals. This is one of the most underlying reasons of financial problems is most people are shooting at targets that they've never created. So the very first thing I want you to do to manage money well is create a financial destination. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish in your life when it relates to money? Are you trying simply to get out of debt? Are you trying to free yourself so you can start investing? Do you want to take 2 vacations a year? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to go off to college? What are your financial goals? Because without those goals, we'll never see if we're actually gaining ground and actually winning in this game called money. The more wealthy people I meet and talk to, all have financial goals. In fact, I've realized the wealthier people are, the more specific their goals are. So where you might say, I want to go on vacation once a year, wealthier people would say, I want to go on this many vacations, this duration, to these places in this amount of time. The idea is the goals get more specific the more wealthier people get. Well, let's take a note. Tony Robbins has a quote that says, success leaves clues. And the idea is let's learn from those that are successful. So if wealthy people have goals, what should we have? We have to have a financial set of goals. In the graduating class in 1957 from Yale University, a study was done on people who wrote down their goals. And then that study was completed 10 years later. And only 3% of the class wrote down their goals leaving college. Then they returned to the people that were in the study 10 years later. And the 3% of the people that wrote their goals down accomplished more than the 97% combined and charted way more territories of happiness in their life. And here's the thing. You cannot hit a target you're not aiming at. Do you have goals? And do you have them written down? Can you imagine runners taking their mark, getting ready to start a race? The gun goes off and they start running, but there's no finish line. They just run. The idea is then there's really no game. And that's how a lot of us treat our money. We don't have a finish line. We don't have a goal. We don't know where the heck we're going. And then we get ticked that we don't get there. And I want to give you the freedom. Don't be upset. You haven't achieved a goal you never set. But today, let's end that and let's get our goals on paper of where we really want to go with our money. So you really want to know how to manage money? Let's get it on paper of what the destination looks like, not only so we can celebrate, so we know where the heck we're headed. If you don't know where due north is, you sure as heck aren't going to get there. The first question you ask as you're writing your goals down is, how much money do I need to make to pay all my bills with a little bit left over every single month? Get that number down, and then we can start understanding now how much do I need to earn in order to start achieving some of the financial goals I have. Pull out a piece of paper, write your goals down so that you can look at them every single week. I used to say in church, pin your goals to your Bible or your refrigerator, whichever you open more. But the truth of the matter is, put it wherever you visit. If it's on your laptop, in your car, on your screensaver, whatever you do on the refrigerator, in your books that you read, wherever you want to, hang it in your house, but get your goals in front of you so you can see them. You exponentially increase your likelihood of achieving those goals by just having them and writing them down. Then that number goes up even higher if you look at those and review those goals. I can tell you a very small percentage of people have goals in their finances, and that's not going to be you. So take out a piece of paper and let's get these goals down. The second thing you want to do is identify your safe zone. What's the number you need to make to pay all your bills and have a little bit extra in case you blow a tire on your car, or your car needs to be fixed, or kids need braces, or kids need something? You still have a little bit of money left over so you're not having to put things on debt. We call that the safe zone. What is your safe zone number? The safe zone number is just simply the number you need to pay all your bills with a little bit of padding so that you feel comfortable every single month. You need to know that number. But you know what's interesting? A lot of people in money trouble, they don't know that number. The reason they're living on more than they earn is they don't really know how much they spend. They might know how much they earn, but they don't know how much they spend. So we have to have a safe number. How much money do we need to make in order to be taken care of each month? But in order to get to that number, you know what you need to know? How much you actually spend every month. What are the list of your full expenses? Here's why we do this. We want to make sure we get to the safe zone because it's from the safe zone you can really dream about where you can go with your finances. It's where you can dream about starting a side hustle or starting a business or getting a new job or getting a raise so that your money can go up and you can continue to build financial freedom. We need to get to that safe zone so we can dream. The truth of the matter, if a lion started chasing you, you probably wouldn't be thinking about vacation. You'd be thinking about survival because we don't dream when we're in survival mode. When we're running for safety, we don't dream. When we get to safety, catch our breath, then we can start to dream. And we got to get you to the safe zone before you can ever get to the freedom zone. And until you do this, you got to write those goals down and we got to know what is our safe number. Most people don't know that safe number. So get that safe number down and write that on top of your goal sheet so you know what your safe number is, get to that safe number, and then we can start dreaming of where we really want to take our finances. Because if you want to manage money well, you gotta know what's that safe number. The third thing you want to do is identify your values. Every single person has a different set of values that are really important to them. My wife and I have a mission statement over our life, and it's called the freedom to give and the freedom to live. Every decision we make is ran through this filter. If something's going to sabotage our ability to give and to live, then we don't do it. And let me explain what that means. The ability to give, we've defined that as anybody in our circle of influence will never be in need that we can't truly meet. Our goal is if you're in our circle of influence and you can't make your mortgage payment, your lights go out, your phone goes off, and you can't get to work, we're going to be able to meet that need. That's a big goal and mission of ours. And the second one is the freedom to live. We never want God to call us to anything and ask us to go do something for His cause or anybody else's cause and not be able to pull that off because we're tied down. So for us, the freedom to give and freedom to live is really important to our value set. But you have to find yours. What's really important to you? My wife and I don't have children. If you have children, you may want to raise amazing children that go off and start businesses or start families, or maybe that's your value system is you want to be there for your children. And if you have children, I sure hope that's on your value system. The truth of the matter is, you have to have your own set of values. If you're married, making your marriage really important inside of this financial structure of doing this together is of utmost importance. I hope that's a value to you. The idea is getting your values down because let me tell you, you can't manage money outside of a value system because managing money reveals values. If you're in debt because you're spending money on fishing gear, I know what you value. If you're in debt because you're spending money on retail therapy because you've had a bad week, I know what you value. The truth of the matter is money often shows what we value. So the truth is, instead of money showing me what I value, let's set what I really value and then let money drive that. Because what I found is a lot of those things we spend money on, it's not that they give us ultimate happiness. It often numbs us from the life we truly don't believe we can achieve. It numbs us from the idea that I'm not satisfied where I am, I'm probably not getting to where I am, so this can at least numb the pain. And what I'm saying is take a step back, get your value structure in place, and allow your money to be simply the placement of your value system. But you have to understand what truly are your values. What do you value? Do you value time? Do you value time with family, time with your spouse, time to travel, your church, your giving back of your community? What do you really value? And then allow your money to drive that. A lot of people start with, I need a budget. I need to budget all my money. We'll get there, but the truth of the matter is, you can't budget outside of a value system. You've got to have a value system. You've got to understand where you're going and what your goals truly are. You got to know what that safe number is. The idea of managing money, got to get that value system nailed down. Before I finished up that tip, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification, as well as smash that thumbs up button. We want you to join our family of real estate investors, financial freedom fighters that are really fighting for their freedom and allowing their life to be lived on their terms rather than be handed to them and then just simply along for the ride. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get back to the video. As you're identifying your values, I want to make sure that none of your wanters get broken in the middle of money management. Because a lot of times what happens is, as you're managing money and you're seeking to get out of debt, you limit your spending so much, you forget what you truly want. Because let me tell you this, too much deprivation will lead to financial devastation. As I continue to deprive myself, my brain sees money in lack. It sees it from a scarcity perspective rather than an abundance perspective. So you don't want to limit yourself so much that you can't spend money on things you truly value. They have to just simply be kept in a place where if you are in debt and that's a value to you, you can get that out of debt so you can do more of what you value. The goal in value-based finances is to live value-based, not price-based. I want to get your mind, instead of trying to find the cheapest thing, find the most valuable thing. I was reading a book recently called Minimalism. It was the idea of minimalizing your life so you don't have a lot of junk in your house that you don't even use in value. My wife and I made the decision to once a week put everything in a bag that we don't use and take it to Goodwill or donate it and get rid of it, because what's the point of having it? We don't obviously value those things when you don't use them for 3 years. So the goal is, instead of having 40 shirts that are cheap because I've just looked at price, have 5 shirts that are really high value. It's the idea of living value-based, because let me tell you, I found that when I lived by values, I inherently believe I have value. See, when you live by values, it trains you to think value-based even when it comes to yourself. Because a lot of people without money and they're living in poverty all the time, they really start to lose their sense of value. When they're looking at price all the time, they're thinking of cheap, and that cheapness is, I'm really not worth spending money for. And the idea is, I want you to live value-based because it will also increase the view of yourself, so you start seeing the true intrinsic value of you and that you bring to your family finances in this world. The fourth tip to managing your money is seeing debt as a means to wealth, not as a means to accumulation. See, a lot of people go into debt to accumulate. I would say absolutely not. Go into debt instead to build wealth. Going into debt for a TV, that shows poor mindset. Going into debt for real estate, that shows a wealthy mindset. You see, there's 2 different types of debt, and this is why I don't like a blanket statement of debt is bad. Because debt for a TV, debt for a boat, debt for pleasure items is bad. Those consumer things, it's high interest rate, and you can usually wait and pay cash for them and save yourself tons of money rather than just putting it on a card and trying to figure it out. But getting debt on real estate, now you're getting debt that pays you every month while the property itself pays the debt off. That's the benefit of real estate. It doesn't come out of my pocket. I buy a real estate and the real estate pays the debt off and it pays me a profit. That's like the coolest thing ever. So there's 2 different forms of debt. Consumer debt, wealth debt. Consumer debt is just accumulating stuff. Wealth debt is taking on debt that pays me every single month. So one of the biggest money management mindset shifts is leveraging as much debt as possible. In fact, our goal in 2021 is to get as much debt as possible inside of our company, because it's truly one of the best ways to build wealth, and you can do that too. And the last tip is stop saving for retirement. Say, what, Mike? I've been told to save for retirement my whole life. Stop saving for retirement. Saving for retirement, once again, is the idea that it's a fear-based system. I'm afraid I'm going to get to the end of my life and not have enough money, and so I'm just going to stockpile it all and hope I have enough. Well, let me tell you something. In America right now, the value of the dollar is going down. So a pile of cash is becoming what? Worth less and less and less money. A pile of cash is the worst thing to have in retirement. Instead of saving for retirement, invest for retirement. Put money into cash-producing assets, even more than just a 401k, putting it into a real estate-based asset that pays you month after month after month, then going into your retirement where 7, 12 properties are paying you every single month, then guess what? Not only is your capital preserved, so you have inheritance to pass on, but that monthly income you get to continue to make forever. That's the beauty. So don't save for retirement. Invest towards retirement. That's the power of a system that manages money well, rather than just trying to hoard money and hope I have enough for the end of life. But a ninja tip inside of finances, when you're learning about money, focus on learning mindset more than tactical training. Tony Robbins used to say, success is 80% psychology or mindset, 20% mechanics or tactics. And a lot of us, we want the tactical, how to budget and how to stretch a dollar, and that's important. But the only reason I'm working to stretch a dollar is because I don't have the mindset to never have to stretch dollars, because I can make them well. Changing the mindset shifts the entire landscape of my finances. So stop searching after tactical content all the time and start rearranging the furniture inside your mindset that will set you up for money to just flow to your life much more magnetically than you having to track every single dollar down that you earn. I want to give you a free book today called The 7 Secrets of Managing Money and Creating Wealth. This book will revolutionize the way you think about money, and I want to give it to you for free. If you go down in the description, click that link, you're going to be taken to a page and you can snag your book and start revolutionizing your finances. And remember, I'll see you in part 2 of how to manage your money.